Welcome to a Q&A video. A couple of days ago, I put out on my Instagram story and on the Outsiders Instagram story, kind of like a post asking you guys to ask us some questions. And I said I will make a YouTube video with all of the answers. Firstly, I'm absolutely blown away with how many questions we got. It was absolutely insane, particularly on the Outsiders Instagram channel, because the Outsiders Instagram channel is still really small. The time of filming this, we have about 880 followers. So not even 1,000 followers on that Instagram page. And we had tons and tons of messages. So thank you guys. And I actually really wanted to, before we get into the question and answers, I really wanted to thank everybody who has supported the YouTube channel so far. If you're watching this right now, there's a high chance that you are a big supporter of ours because it is the off season. We're going into summer and there's no snowboard content about. So if you're watching this now, it's really high chance that you're one of our kind of day one supporters. So really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. I know the channel is still really small, but yeah, it means a lot to us and the team to get your guys' messages, all of the comments, of which I reply to every single comment on the YouTube, but the DMs that you send us and everything means a lot. And without it, we definitely wouldn't be still doing this, because I've been trying to stop doing the vlogs for so goddamn long, and it kind of, with all the support that we get, I haven't stopped. So yeah, thank you so much. I guess a little bit of a story on the vlogs before we get into everything is, well, it's a really long story, but I'll keep it really brief, is I started doing it just because, really. And it was mainly a culture thing for the team, and it was really fun to do. But as we progressed as a team, and we were starting to get closer to the Olympics, there was pushback from me to keep doing it because I just didn't have the time. It was just me filming and editing everything. But the team really wanted me to keep doing it, and because you guys comment on all the videos and give us so much support, I continued to pursue it, and eventually got a filmer in Akos to help us last season and everything like that. So it is really because of you guys who are watching this video right now that we actually still do this. So thank you so much. But without further ado, let's get into the questions. I really want to make this video as fast as possible as well, because I just do, and there has been a lot of questions. So the first question that comes up is, how did the squad come together? Great question, a question that we get asked all of the time. Look, I've been a professional snowboard coach, a private professional snowboard coach, for almost 10 years now. So I've been doing it a long time, but this special crew that we have at the moment has been a little bit more recent. Long story short, I guess Jose was the first person to reach out to me and was like, hey, look, dude, I really would like some coaching. Can you help me? And then from that, I reached out to Anthon. Well, I had a relationship with Anthon from the past, and he also needed some coaching, and another girl called Maria Hidalgo at the time. And that's kind of the starting place of the new team. Before that, I was coaching my sister. I was still private, but there was no like team. And actually, even at that point, there was still no Outsiders. That came a little bit later. But that was kind of a starting point, which is 2 years out from Beijing, which is close to 5-6 years ago now. That was kind of the starting point for what would later become the Outsiders. Fast forward through that Olympic campaign and into the next one. After the Beijing Olympics, I linked up with Maisie. I knew Maisie from the past, and she was like on this kind of journey where she wanted to pursue her snowboarding, and she reached out to me, and I was helping her where I could, and she joined the crew, but it was only meant to be like, okay, we're at the end of the season, come do some contests, and yeah, I'll help you if I can. But instantly she had great success. Actually, at the first contest she did with us, she finished 7th. It was a World Cup, a smaller field size. It was after the Beijing Olympics, but still made finals and got 7th. I think it was 7th in her first World Cup. And kind of since that day, it was like, whoa, okay, she's got some potential here. I kind of started doing the vlogs a few months after that, and I guess that's kind of the birthplace of the crew name Outsiders, is when we started doing the vlogs. I guess that's another story for another time, I guess. But then Txema joined us in the season of, God, I don't know, it was February 24. So he hit me up and we did a month together, and in that month he had great success, and he was a young talent, so of course I wanted to coach him. And had a great season, and then he joined the team as well. So that is like a real fast way of me explaining how the team kind of came together, the current team that we have right now. In all of that time period, you know, it's been 5-6 years, we have had loads of other people join us. Mentions to Vlad, and who else we got? K Mac in there. Carl Mack joined us for a bit. Like there's people that have come in and out, and we also have a lot of friends of the crew who come and ride with us and spend time with us, live with us, train with us. So it's really this like, it's a tight crew, but it's a kind of evolving crew at the same time. As an intermediate who just started hitting the park, what is your best advice on what to focus on? Really great question, because it's pretty straightforward for me. I always say that everybody, no matter what level you are, should be focusing on the basics, the fundamentals of snowboarding. It doesn't matter if it's your first time snowboarding or you're on the World Cup circuit and you're trying to learn a new trick. We always start with the fundamentals, in particular, how we're standing on our snowboard. So if you're an intermediate and you're wanting to get into the park for the first time, or you're wanting to progress your snowboarding, think about, and if nobody's told you this already, of course, but you really have to think about how you're standing on your snowboard, your stance, making sure everything's aligned. And I say this to my guys now all of the time, like, look at how you're standing on your snowboard, focus on how you're standing on your snowboard, because that is the starting place for all of the biomechanics that will come later. If you are standing good on your snowboard, okay, then we go to the next step. Okay, how are you using your snowboard to generate the force? Okay, if that's good, okay, are you a little bit too early? Are you a little bit too late? We can look at some other things like that, and we can always usually find the root of the problem with how they're standing on their snowboard, or how you're snowboarding into the feature, you know. So these are the things that I would really encourage you to get really good at. I would encourage you to ride the resort a lot. I would encourage you to get really comfortable at high speeds. Getting used to snowboarding fast is actually, one, it's really fun, and two, it comes in handy a lot. I'd also encourage you, no one to ever skip steps as well. So if you're going into the park, focus on getting all your 180s, making sure that they're perfect before you go on to the next step, because progression in snowboarding is really like a hockey stick. You focus on the fundamentals, you do the basics right, you move your body in the right way, you use your equipment in the right way, and then it might be a bit of a slow progress, but once all that has become habitual to you, you'll start to see that the tricks will start to come faster and faster and faster and faster. And Txema is probably the best example I have for that. He was a part of like an academy in New Zealand, and they are really good in New Zealand at focusing on your fundamentals. And he had some great coaches that helped him with that. And then when he came and joined us, it was really about implementing some small little bits, and he just like progressed loads. So focus on the fundamentals, go back to the basics, and don't skip any steps is my advice to you guys. And just hammer out the 180s. If that's where you're at, hammer out the 180s. Don't move on to the 360s until you got a perfect 180. Don't move on to a 540 until you got a perfect 360. And get used to going fast. All right, next question is, what got you into snowboarding and teaching? Love the vlogs. Thank you, Sid0838. Sid0838. Good question. guess this one's directed at me personally. It's a really long story, my story. It's probably better for another time, but I'll give you the condensed version. At a young age, my older sister asked me to help her qualify for the Olympics in snowboarding. She showed good talent. I think she won like the University Winter Games or something, the World Winter Games, and kind of had the bag of tricks to progress. And this is back this is all 10 years ago. So women's snowboarding was not what it is today, but nonetheless takes nothing away from what my sister achieved in that short time. She did really good, qualified a spot on the world tour, and was lucky enough to go along for 2 years trying to qualify for the Pyeongchang Olympics, and I was kind of there helping her and coaching her along the way. And through that process, I spent a lot of time with the head coach of the New Zealand snowboard team, Sean Thompson, Tomo, and this is when I was like 18, 19, and I was like a sponge. I wasn't afraid to ask a lot of questions, and he taught me a lot of things. A lot of great snowboard coaches taught me a lot of great things, so I owe a lot of the knowledge I have today to a lot of other people. But yeah, that's what got me into snowboarding and teaching. I always kind of had a love for teaching and helping other people, and I also was in a place when I was 18, 19, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, like 99.9% of the rest of the population. And I had this awesome opportunity to be on the world tour for 2 years, so of course I took it up. And from there, kind of after coaching my sister, I went private and have been private ever since. So it was kind of a natural development from there. All right, next question. How do you make yourself feel energized in the morning before a training sesh/comps? I wish I had a real sick answer to this, actually. I don't actually have I wish we were like, oh yeah, we wake up and we do breath work and we make sure we meditate for 10 minutes before. Really, it's not. Like, high performance athletes, it's always blown me away that they're really just regular people. They have their regular struggles. They don't like getting up early in the morning, just like nobody else does. Some days it's easier and some days it's more difficult. So there's no, in particular, like special thing that we do when we wake up. Back in the day, I used to cook breakfast for everyone. That was a bit of a ritual, but there's nothing really in particular in the morning as such than just waking up and getting to work. I will say, however, when we do get up the hill, I'm very strict on warm-ups. So, and it sounds really obvious, but god damn it took me ages to get some of the older boys, particularly Jose and Anthon, calling you out, to do their warm-ups, because back in the day, it was just, snowboarding was much different to what it is today. It was just show up and ride and compete occasionally, but now it's like a full-blown high-performance sport where there's a lot of money invested and a lot of nations trying to get their athletes to win a gold medal at the Olympics. It's a much different playing ground than it was 10 years ago. So getting the warm-up habit into the older boys is a bit different. With Txema, he's kind of been drilled that since he was a kid. So getting him to warm up in the mornings and do his stretches and his routine has been pretty easy. But yeah, so everybody does their own warm-up. I'm not a big fan of like group warm-ups. They're all adults, so everyone has their own particular things they need to warm up more than others. For example, Jose really needs to like warm up his knees because he's had 2 knee surgeries, so he does a lot of kind of range of motion in his knees and using those pistons when he's warming up. He also jumps around a little bit more than what Txema might do. And yeah, everyone's just kind of got their own niggles, and they warm those things up as they go about their warm-up. So other than that, it's kind of wake up and see how the day is. I usually check the weather first thing in the morning, but that's just me. Next question. Camera dude seems chill as if. No question, just that. Thanks, Kai, for your message. Yeah, he's pretty chill. Actually, Akos has been our filmer for the last half of this last season. And if you watch the vlogs regularly, you'll probably notice the difference. And yeah, big shout out to Akos. He's done a really good job. Pretty much just I said to Anthon in November, December, like, I'm gonna have to get a filmer to do the vlogs because the schedule is so packed and I'm not gonna be able to keep up with it. And I kind of just said, I'd love to find an 18, 19-year-old kid who would be willing to do this for not a lot of money and just travel the world with us and work really hard and complement the team in as many possible ways. And it's funny because if you do not ask, you shall not receive. But I did ask, and Akos kind of came about. I can't remember how. I think he was in my DMs or he commented on one of the YouTube videos and said, yo, do you guys need a filmer? And I hit him up and I called him and I was like, if you're willing to quit your job and come with us, I'll pay you as much as I can afford to pay you. But yeah, you're just gonna have to kind of bum it with us a little bit. And he was like, hell yeah, let's do it. So he came and filmed a vlog with us in Absolute Park, and he delivered really well and he was punctual and he wanted the job and he was like super hyped, and I was like, yeah, sign him up. So he quit his job straight away and joined us a couple days later. It's pretty sick story and turnaround, and he's hyped on filming and he wants to get better. And bear in mind, actually, when I hit up Akos, he wasn't even editing on Premiere Pro. He was editing on CapCut, which that might mean nothing to most of you, but it's really it's like free editing software versus the best editing software. So I was like, I'm gonna pay for your Premiere Pro subscription and you're gonna learn this, and this is what you're gonna edit on. And he did so, and he picked up on it, and he did a really good job. And you know, I was asking a lot from him as well. You know, I was pushing him to put out a couple vlogs per week, and he did so. Yeah, it was a crazy season. So thank you, Akos, for joining us. Next question. What's your guys' goals for the future in your professional snowboard career? Good question. Right now, everyone is focused on the upcoming Cortina Milan 2026 Winter Olympics. Well, that's my job. Anyway, I'm focused on that. That's what I'm paid to do. That's why we're here. I strongly believe that we're going to have great success in the Winter Olympics. That's my perspective. I know that snowboarding is actually much more than just competing. It's as much, if not, it's more of a creative outlet than it is a competitive sport. But my role in all of the athletes' life is to get them to perform their very best as often as they can so we can all have success. But I think I would be wrong in saying that that's the only purpose for everybody, because I think snowboarding is much more than just competing, you know. So I know that they want to put out snowboard films and they want to have a long career in snowboarding, working with their brands and their sponsors to do cool stuff and create entertainment for everybody. And it's not just going to be competition. But I think at this point in everybody's life and career, competing is top priority, especially because the Winter Olympics are in February. So that is obviously forefront of everybody's mind. That's, I think, right now everybody's top priority is, I bloody hope it's everybody's top priority, is the Winter Olympics, February 26th. And then thereafter, I know that they'll probably want to do another cycle, but they're going to work with their sponsors and grow their snowboarding in as many different areas as possible. So yeah, Olympics and probably filming up there as well. All right, next question. Merch when? Look, if you're watching this video, I know that you're a big supporter of us, and again, thank you so much, because it's not peak wintertime, it's summer, and if you're watching this, you're a really big supporter. So I will let you in on a little bit of a secret. I'm working on the merch right now. I just had a phone call yesterday, and I bought what I needed to buy to make the merch, essentially. and we're working to find the right garments and the right style and everything like that. So we will be dropping merch very soon. I guess I can tell you that I want to do, I don't have that much information to give you right now, but I want to do a drop at the start of next winter, but when everyone's together, so sometime in October. And I guess if you're this far and you're watching this right now and you're interested in merch, please hit me up. Drop a comment, because I'm trying to figure out how many pieces, how many hoodies I need to buy, how many caps I need to buy, things like this. So if I know you're interested, I will get enough. Otherwise, I'm just going to be having a stab in the dark. But at the moment, there's going to be a hoodie and a cap that we're going to do, and hopefully some more stuff after that. Really, it would be so sick to release merch. It would be so dope. I haven't done it so far because we've been so busy, but yeah, I'm really hyped to get it out there and get it to you guys. So stay tuned and let me know if you're interested in that. What advice would you give to young riders hoping to go pro? I guess it's a little bit the same as what I said earlier to anyone that's trying to get into park for the first time, is focus on the fundamentals, go back to the basics. I can't stress that enough, is like, get the basics right and watch your snowboarding progress. I would also, you know, I work in high performance sports, so I know the value in setting goals. I would set some goals and work back from that. That's how I would do it. I know it's a little bit cliche, but I would say that and couple it with saying, make sure you're living in the moment too. So don't stress too much, focus on the fundamentals and ride as much as absolutely possible. It's all about time on snow, especially if you're a little bit younger. It's time on snow is invaluable. It's, you know, half the time we go to the mountain, the weather's bad, you know, and we can't ride the jumps. So repetitions and time on snow, it's a scarce thing. We couple that with off snow training, so trampoline work, but mainly gym work for us, strength and conditioning, and that helps the athletes a lot. But we're lucky enough to go to the world's best parks and get reps on the world's best jumps all the time. Maybe you're not as lucky, so you need to absolutely hammer out time on snow, and that should be your top priority. But yeah, other than that, I would like look to the future, see what you want to achieve. You know, this is the high performance coach in me. Lay it all out, count it back to where you are today, see what the plan is, but also within that, live in the moment and just enjoy spending time on your snowboard, because that's where true progression comes. Even if you're not able to ride the jumps that day and you're just riding the hill, enjoy the shit out of that, because that is actually where a lot of the progression in snowboarding comes from. When there will be a new video. I guess you're watching it, but after this video, I was really keen to do summer vlogs, but the team are just all over the world doing their own thing, and we really needed to chill a bit. So the next video is probably going to be when we do the airbag camp sometime in July. Like we've done for the last 2 years, we do an airbag camp, and we'll just do like a recap video from that. So that's probably going to be the next one. Hopefully after that, when we go to New Zealand and start training again, we'll be able to pump vlogs out again. What's your guys' favorite comp and what's your favorite discipline? Big air, rail jam, slope. Okay, I can't really, for me it's, I love it all. I love competing. I love the intensity of the moment. So I can't really comment on that too much. I can't really comment for the rest of the gang too, but I'll go out on a limb and I would say probably everybody prefers slope style. We're definitely a slope style orientated team. It's my principles or my philosophies is we're going to get good at slope style because that's really true snowboarding. I don't like, there's a bit of a common trend now where people, I mean, the airbag has changed the game, you know. There's a lot of people riding the airbag that are just really good at big air competing, and then when they get into the slope course, they're not nowhere near as good as they are in big air competing. So to be honest, I really think that they're going to separate the disciplines big air and slope style pretty soon, because There are a lot of great slopestyle riders that just don't want to do big air anymore. Some of the best snowboarders in the world don't want to do big air anymore because it's becoming way different. You can not be good at the fundamentals of snowboarding and be a great big air rider. It's pretty crazy. But then you like put those riders that don't have the same level of fundamentals as the slopestyle riders, and you put them in a slopestyle course, and if it's a little bit of bad weather or anything, you can really see the difference between the people that stand on their snowboard really good, that have like hammered out the drills, and the people who just ride the airbag a lot. So yeah, but no hate there at all. I think big air is still sick. I think big air is so sick because of the show we can put on. I think that's the coolest thing about big air. That's what I love about big air is, especially, you know, the city big airs. You can put a big air jump in the middle of a city and you can have a concert and you can have people go and watch our sport and you can make it this spectacle, and it's a real sick show. And for the riders, it's good as well. This year, Txema was in the finals when we had a snowboard contest in the middle of a football stadium. And it's so sick. You're up there and you just see this huge crowd and the lights and everything. It's really cool. So I do love big air for that. But I think when it comes to like actually snowboarding, I think most of our team would be more orientated towards slopestyle. In saying that, I will say that Txema has had his best success in big air, although he's a great slopestyle rider. So, you know, it's snowboarding. It's a skill acquisition sport. There's never a straightforward answer, but yeah, I guess. I mean, rail jams is another part of that question. I know Maisie's really good at rail jams. She's a great rail rider. That's what makes Maisie such a good slopestyle rider, is her rail game is really strong. So I wonder if they really like rail jams. I think they're all going to say slopestyle. I'm going to go out and say slopestyle. Can I train with you this summer? Yes, if you are watching this right now and you want to ride with us this summer on the airbag, then make sure you hit me up really, really soon, because I am booking everything and getting it sorted. So if you want to come train with us in summer on the airbag, then you can. You just have to be pretty quick, and yeah, hit us up. I would love to coach you and get to know you guys. So let me know. Any member of the team detune edges for jibbing? I don't think so. I should really know the answer to this because I'm their coach, but I'm going to go out and say no. They don't. Actually, if anything, we kind of sharpen the edges, not for jibbing, but for slope. I mean, Anthon in particular loves his edges razor sharp, and everybody else likes this. Back in the day, it used to be way more common to detune edges, but now I think they're also talented that they're not going to get hung up on a rail because they had a sharp edge. It's way more common to get hung up on a rail if you have a burr in your edge. So a burr is like, if you run your fingers along the edge of your snowboard, you can feel like lumps. We have what's known as a diamond file, and we always try and get rid of those lumps because that's what's going to really get you caught up on the rail. So it's better to have razor sharp edges for the jumps and for snowboarding in particular, and like response of your snowboard, because no one's like really getting caught up unless they have burrs, which we definitely get rid of. So if anything, we're there sharpening edges, but yeah, especially if the edges are too blunt, then you really notice it snowboarding. I notice it snowboarding. So if anything, we're there sharpening edges, keeping the edges tuned up real nice. How do you get sponsors? It's a hard question to answer, but you know, I'll come back to the classic: get better at snowboarding, and then everything else falls into place. Like, that's your number one focus, is to get better at snowboarding, and it might not mean that you need to get as good as, you know, world-class competitive athletes. No way. You just need to get better at whatever you love to do within snowboarding. You can be a rail rider, you can ride the streets, you can ride big mountain, whatever. That's what's so sick about snowboarding, is there's so many ways you can be successful in snowboarding, and it doesn't just have to be being good at competitions. Actually, I'll go as far to say that if you want to get snowboard sponsors, don't compete. A lot of snowboard sponsors right now aren't really sponsoring or putting money into competitive snowboarders unless you're in the top 10, 20% of the World Cup field, like maybe a little bit more than that. You're not like making a really like a huge amount from your snowboard sponsors. A lot of snowboard companies would rather see people filming because that's better for their brand at the moment, which is, I mean, that's another topic I can talk about another time, but really, if you want to get sponsors, get better at snowboarding because people want to see good tricks, new tricks done well, like being able to do a front blunt 270 versus being able to do the sickest, steeziest, pressed, well executed front board. Do the front board. Like, don't do the quote unquote more difficult trick. Like, do snowboarding well, film it, capture it, and then you have a way better chance of getting sponsored, you know. And yeah, I would not feel like you have to do the biggest and best tricks and compete at the top level, because that's actually not really the case. Snowboard sponsors just want to see creative, new, innovative snowboarders, and I think that's the route to getting sponsors. Will you guys come to Oz this season? We had a couple of people ask this question. This season, I will not come to Australia. It would be sick to come to Australia, but I will not come to Australia. But I think Maisie might, maybe Anthon too. But you know, we've just gone on to off season, so hopefully, but we'll see. Sorry, I can't give you more information than that. Best parks to progress your jibbing. Probably Australia, Perisher, but what's another good one? Probably Woodward in Salt Lake City. If I have to choose one just off the top of my head, I will definitely 100% say Lux. They have a whole lift, they have a whole run dedicated to rails and snowpark. It's called P60, for those of you who don't know. It's been the birthplace of some of the world's best snowboarders. So for sure, go to Lux, ride P60 every day, and without a doubt, you'll become a better snowboarder, especially a better jibber. Best core exercise. I actually don't have one in particular, but I will say that I developed a little routine that I tried to get the crew to do more. It's easy to restart these things and then getting everyone to follow through. It's really hard, but what I like personally is to do 50 seconds on, 10 seconds off. Actually, if that's kind of where you progress to. If it's 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off, that's cool too, or 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off, that's cool too. And then just progress through a bunch of different core exercises that target different parts of the abs. So the upper abs, the obliques, the lower abs, things like this. Trying to get some variety in there. And then when you get good at that, and if you can, my big thing with abs is doing them every day. I heard somewhere, the name escapes me, really, I can't remember their name. But somebody told me that somebody did 30 minutes of abs after snowboarding every day. And someone told me that a couple years ago, and then that got me like really hooked. I was like, if they're doing that, that's what we're doing. So we had a routine for a long time of doing 5 minutes of abs every day. And then if you're doing it every day, if you're training 5 minutes every day, it's nothing. You get really strong really quick. So that escalated into 10 minutes every day, and then everyone was getting really, really strong. So little and often with the abs, little and often, and you see a big increase in your strength really quick. What's Jose's favorite post-ride snack? That's a jokes question. That kid eats a lot of food. Jose can eat a lot. He used to be vegetarian, and when he was vegetarian, he'd eat so much cheese. It's crazy. That guy would put cheese like in every meal in different ways. But since he started eating meat again, that was kind of died down. But he always does have like a Spanish snack. I will say that. That kid's got Spanish oil and Spanish meats all of the time. I don't think I've ever seen him on a trip without Spanish oil and Spanish meat. So yeah, he just eats a lot of everything. Good question though. Next question, we're getting there, almost there. Thoughts on step-on bindings? Wouldn't know, never tried them, so I'm the wrong person to ask. But I guess, I mean, I've thought about it a lot because I coach snowboarding. So, but then I'm like, man, I'm lazy enough as it is. You know what I mean? Then I don't have to bend over. I need to get that extra bend over. But yeah, I don't know. Never tried them, so sorry I can't comment. Any resort or ski center that you would like to go to that you haven't yet before? Great question. I've kind of been, we as a group have kind of been everywhere. I can't comment for the other guys, obviously, but you know, I've been doing this for almost 10 years professionally, and I've kind of ticked off everything in snowboarding, all of the places that come to mind. I would love to go to Alaska, actually. I've thought about that a few times. I've been to Japan. I've been most places. I can't think of anywhere now that I'd like to go more than Alaska. It would be so sick to do a trip. Maybe post Olympics. Maybe we can do a vlog after the Olympics. Everyone goes to Alaska. Let me know what you think in the comments if you'd like to see that sort of content. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see content that's not just snowboard competitions too. Actually, just hit me up with everything that you want to see, and then I'll just put it in, because that's how this works here. It's a two-way relationship. Final question. We've got through it. Stoked. Final question. What has been the most unexpected challenge you have faced in your career? Great question to end this one on, I guess, because I can look back at my career, which I don't usually ever do, if you can call it a career. Probably the hardest thing was dealing with sleep, lack of sleep. At some point this year, because the team, we go from contest to contest and we're in a different country every week, but sometimes one athlete will have 2 weeks here and not do this contest or have this training camp here. But usually for me, I'm always on the road making sure I'm trying to please everybody and get everyone to where they need to be. And it's just me, I'm private, so it's just me. So I'm always at the contest and doing the thing. So this season in particular, it's been the lack of sleep. I think I was averaging that I was changing bedroom twice a week for like the first 10 weeks of the year or something like that. I don't know, it's crazy. So yeah, my sleep pattern kind of gets screwed through the season when it's a like heavy season like that. Do you know what's been really unexpected actually is dealing with injuries. I don't want to end it on this one, but when I was younger, I saw a lot of injuries. I was there when my sister broke her femur, and I've seen some crazy injuries and been a part of it. And when you're a snowboard coach, you just see it all the time. It's just part of the job. You're just, whether it's your athletes or not your athletes, you're there and around them, and you're always like, I see a lot of people go down, and I'm kind of there a lot to help them. But over the last couple of years, it's been a little bit harder to kind of be a part of and watch, if I'm going to be totally honest. And I didn't see that coming. I think after Maisie's big injury, it kind of that one hit home pretty hard. And I'm like pretty over going to the hospital and things like that. But it's a part of the job, and thankfully everyone in the team is getting way stronger because we do a lot more pre-season gym work than we used to. And since I started hammering everybody, I remember 2 years ago, I was like, not going to the hospital anymore. Everyone's going to get to this level of strength. Like, I set targets for everyone to achieve in the off season for their strength, like basic stuff like deadlifts and stuff like that, and also like how fit they need to be in a 5K run, and I have all these things that everyone has to do. Since I started implementing that, the injury rate has dropped off a cliff, absolutely. So strength and conditioning, staying on top of your physical health keeps you out of the hospital for sure, 100%. So good to know, but I guess I don't want to end it on that. I actually do want to say probably the most difficult thing that was a bit unexpected, but maybe it's not unexpected. Maybe it's just me. Actually, I know it's not just me. It's probably the same for everybody, is dealing with thinking about what other people think of you. I think that's always been a difficult thing for me to personally overcome. It's kind of always been there in my life. It's part of my character, and I don't know why, but it just is. And I think it's the same for a lot of other people, is like caring about what other people think of you. It's something I have to stay on top of all of the time, because I mean, I come from a culture where tall poppies are really big thing being in New Zealand, but other than that, I think it's just like it's a common thing, you know. Snowboarding's a judged sport as well. It's just baked into our culture, and style is really important and things like this. So caring about what other people think is probably one of the biggest challenges I've had in my career, especially because I started doing this at such a young age, and I'm a private snowboard coach. So you're there on your own. You don't have like security of a federation. So everything matters every day. Like the intensity is, I think, just a couple of levels up. So I really do have to manage that. And but you know, I accept that, and I'm stoked to. If that's my only challenge that I have to face in my career, then it must be a pretty good career. So yeah, I'll end it there. Thank you so much, if you've got this far, for listening to all of those. I hope I covered most of them. I know I've left a lot of questions out there, but next time we do this, I'll try and cover more and things like that. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you want me to do more content like this, let me know as well. But yeah, just a really big thank you to everybody who supported us so far, and looking forward to next season. And yeah, take care of yourself. Thank you.